Welcome back to the show, everyone. It's John Pollock here alongside Robin Black. Coming up Saturday night, the UFC is in Monterrey, Mexico with the tough Latin America finale card. And we're very much looking forward to the featherweight bout as Diego Sanchez is going to be cutting down to 145 pounds. And there to welcome him to the division is Ricardo Lamas, who joins us on the phone now. Ricardo, how are you just a couple days out from the fight?
I'm doing good, man. Just got to Monterrey today and been relaxing. I'm going to hit work a little later and everything's going well.
When you're in Mexico, you're of Mexican descent. It's got to be awesome. But you're in an environment that's really different. It's beautiful out. It's sunny. Is that in any way going to change your perspective or the way you look at the fight? Could it be a good thing?
Yeah, it's always a good thing when it's nice outside. And it's not for outside, especially when we're down cutting weight because it's cold all the time. Mm-hmm. So it makes things a little easier.
We've heard from so many fighters that competed, whether it be at UFC 180 last year in Mexico City or the card back in June, and dealing with elevation. And certainly that was apparent for a number of fighters having done that last year. Tell us about just the difference here. Monterrey, obviously much closer to sea level. How big of an effect does that have, fighting at elevation in Mexico City?
I was definitely able to feel it, when I was cutting weight and running. I was finishing my normal 3 miles a lot slower than I would back home. But luckily my fight didn't go past the first round, so I didn't really feel the effects on the fight. But, like you said, Monterrey is more at sea level, so it's not really going to be a factor in this fight.
Ricardo, fighting is your living and it's your career, but it's for a lot of guys, it's something, the arts of it is something they're passionate about. And you go through different phases of falling in love with different aspects of martial arts. What are you really into training right now? What do you enjoy going into the gym and doing?
Everything. I enjoy the sport as a whole. I love striking. I love grappling. I love jiu-jitsu. I just love learning new styles, and that's what keeps me going back to the gym every day. I learn something new every day and add it to my arsenal.
This was certainly a name that I would imagine somewhat coming out of left field. Diego Sanchez, who had been competing at 155 pounds. He's been out of action for a while. When you got the phone call, that Diego Sanchez is coming down to 145, and that's your next fight, this is a very big name in the history of the UFC. What was your reaction here? Because I would imagine Diego Sanchez probably wasn't on your radar immediately.
No, he wasn't, but we had contacted the UFC saying that we wanted to fight in Monterrey. Diego went on social media saying that he also wanted to fight in Monterrey and that he wanted to drop to 145 pounds and that he wanted me to be his first fight. So I think the UFC got wind of that and put 2 and 2 together, and they told me, hey, if you want to fight in UFC, this is the fight we have for you. So, I said, let's do it.
When people look at Sanchez, and lots of fighters have looked at him this way, they see a guy who maybe is technically, there's ways to exploit him, but he's got this gameness. This natural gameness where normal guys, you hit them with certain things and you discourage them from continuing forward. This guy doesn't appear to be able to be discouraged. How do you work with that? How do you compartmentalize that and look at that as an opponent?
I've seen him fight a ton of times. I already know how he is. I know how he fights. He kind of works the opposite. You hit him and he pushes forward even more. So we know all that and we've trained for it. And, we're going to put our game into effect on Saturday night.
Diego Sanchez, he is certainly that style of fighter, and especially given the environment you two are going to competing at with the fanfare for you two inside of Monterrey, Mexico. Is he the style of fighter where it can become very easy to abandon the game plan and just go to town with one another? That's something that he's talked about in the past, that he tries to bring fighters into that. Is that a concern when you look at that this is a crowd that wants to see fireworks out there, and sometimes that's not the easiest route to victory?
No, I still think I can give the crowd what they want to see with a good technical finish. That's what everybody wants to see. They want to see the fight end, So as long as I do that and stick to my game plan, I'm going to be just fine. And
when you do see guys like that and you're analyzing fights, in theory, the way to beat that guy is with calm, analytical, surgical, advanced basics, right? You go in, and if he's driving forward, we cut him in half and take him down, or we strike him on angles, and that's still an exciting fight one way or the other.
Exactly. People can be impressed with the dance of the whole fight. It's very cool to watch a very technical fighter do his job and and do it well. So that's what I'm going to be looking to do on Saturday night.
As you're monitoring the featherweight division, huge championship fight coming up in December, who do you believe is going to be the featherweight champion come the end of this year and that you're going to have your eyes on?
I think Aldo is going to retain the belt. I just think he has too many weapons in his arsenal for McGregor. He's a lot more well-rounded, better on the ground, so I think Aldo's taking it.
What does it feel like for you to go back and fight in Mexico against a Mexican traditional style warrior like Sanchez?
It's awesome. It's going to be a great fight for the fans to see, and I can't wait to get in there.
Well, Ricardo, we're very much looking forward to the fight. It's Diego Sanchez, Ricardo Lamas, this coming Saturday night, part of the Tough Latin America season finale card. And Ricardo, all the best going into weigh-ins. We're going to be enjoying the fight on Saturday night for sure.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
Great. Thank you, Ricardo.